Hello, this is Asian Movie Pulse Bad Accent Reviews. I'm Aaron Hinojosa, and today we will be talking about Cube. Often with remakes in Asian cinema, we picture the West adapting Eastern work. However, today's subject is the inverse. We're looking at Japan's take on Canada's Cube. Directed and co-written by Vincenzo Natali in 1997, Cube became a sci-fi cult classic. Years later in 2021, director Yasuhiko Shimizu and writer Koji Tokuo made their take on the movie. The story follows Yuichi Goto, a man who wakes up within a cube. He finds himself among 5 others trapped in this mysterious prison. Exploring, they discover various interconnected rooms that make up a vast labyrinth. Dodging traps along the way, the group must venture through the maze to escape. Firstly, the titular cube. Its metallic surfaces bear this dusty, rust-like aberration, suggesting an age that seems to conflict with the setting's futuristic engineering. This paradoxical feature not only intrigues from a world-building standpoint, but it also lends itself to the eerie, inexplicable nature of the environment as well. As for the cinematography, the frame often parallels the edges and wall pattern, emphasizing the boxed-in aspect of the setting. The walls illuminate and engulf scenes in various hues. It particularly catches the eye when contrasting light from another room. Continuing with the presentation, the soundtrack utilizes a low, bassy sound, hammering in the cast's isolation. Speaking of, let's discuss character. Starting with the positives, Shinji Ochi, played by Masaki Okada, develops the most intriguingly throughout the journey. Unfortunately, the rest of the players are rather dull. That being said, the closed space helps by forcing characters to confront each other constantly. Not to mention the tone successfully builds a sense of menace and intensity for the climax. Unfortunately, the writing in the third act becomes sloppy, playing loose with motive and the cube's rules. But there's another layer to the production aside from its innate content. That is, its quality as an adaptation. The film alters the cast of the original. They all have completely different backgrounds and do not parallel the personalities of the 1997 movie. Considering the limited environment, changing characters is a great means to breathe new life into the scenario. With the cube's new prisoners comes a new story, but also new subject matter. In the original, each person had a function or detriment that made his or her utility subject to another's scrutiny. In other words, life's intrinsic value was brought into question in the face of the ability to serve the greater whole. Meanwhile, the Japanese rendition takes advantage of the cast's age difference. Cube 2021 comments on the impact adults have on the next generation, but also the responsibility of youth to grow up to make the world safer for their following generation. An idea that is quite separate from the existential dread of the original. And that's the kicker. Theme contributes to the core essence of a movie. Change that, and the work takes on a different identity. The altered theme distances Cube from its source material. Meanwhile, mirrored events to the original beget the expectations of an adaptation. Thus, Shimizu's take lies in this gray middle ground. Nevertheless, whether it be returning from the 1997 classic or entering the labyrinth for the first time, Cube has both positives and imperfections that characterize its viewing experience.